what would they say was your most important resource? Money. Spreadsheets, the bottom line. We talk about balance, we talk about people, innovative creativity, etc. But what do we do when things get rough? We get rid of people. Do we get rid of work? No. We just download the work on the people who are left. And what do we tell them? You're one of the lucky ones because you've got a job. You get out there and, you know, put up a shrine at home and thank the Lord that you got a great job working for the city. But you know what? They don't feel like it's a great job. In many, many ways, we talk about valuing them, but what we do is focus on what is wrong, and we rarely focus on what is right. And so I'm going to actually talk about balance from our data. We have talked about balance for decades. Okay, but do you feel more balanced now? Well, I'm looking at most of you and you're boomers. You know, and Darnell was talking about being fun. You haven't been fun since the 60s and 70s. You like to think in your brain you're fun, but you're not so fun. Okay, now if we look at balance, this is the Canadian data. This was data, I've done national studies on work-life balance in Canada in 91, 2001, and we're going to be getting funding to do it again in 2011. All right? Now, what does the data say? When I talk about balance, balance is some kind of, you know, fuzzy concept. But for me, what's balance? We're never going to solve balance issues if we don't recognize workload. This just in, you don't have balance when you're working 60, 65, 70 hours a week, week in, week out, when you've got the technology so somebody can phone you at home, weekends, evenings, when you take your laptop on holiday with you, just in case, and work is never done. Workload is a big issue. You can put in all the flexible work arrangements you want in the world, but if flex time in your organization is the ability to come in before 6 a.m., leave after 9 p.m., as long as you got the laptop with you, that isn't flex time. In Canada, 42% of Canadians were overloaded. They had too much to do in the amount of time that they had to do it in. They felt rushed, they felt stressed, okay? We then downsized, restructured, re-engineered in the recession of the 90s. And we ended up with 60% overloaded. And now we're going through the next recession, and what are we doing? We're downsizing, restructuring, re-engineering, and dumping work on older, tireder people who really, we have no more to cut. Does this make sense to you all? And yet we talk about balance. And as we talk about it more, your people get more tipped. Now, the other thing is interference. You're all great people, but this just in. You can't be in two physically different places doing two different things at exactly the same time. And the BlackBerry doesn't make it so, okay? You're actually, it's true. You're physically in two places, but mentally, you know, you're not there for your family. And so what we find is most Canadians and probably most Americans give their priority to work at the expense of family. And when we interview them, they say, well, you can get fired from your job, but not your family. But the divorce statistics would say, not so fast. You can get divorced, you can get fired from your family. Now, the other interesting thing is the number of Canadians and probably Americans who are increasing the tendency to put family first. No, I can't work evenings. No, I can't work weekends. No, I'm not going to relocate. You know, no, I won't take that promotion. And that's happening because of one major demographic shift. Can you guess what it is? Don't say it's women, because women have been in the workforce for a long time now. Get over it. Okay? It is not women. What it is, and it's not childcare. Because how we are managing work-life balance, the educated in both Canada and the United States, how are they managing balance? They're waiting later to have kids and they're having far fewer. It's not work and family anymore, it's work and work. But you can choose whether or not to have kids. You can't choose whether or not to have parents. all right? And what is causing people to have to put family first is they got aging parents. And there's not any support in either of our countries to support our need to support our parents in their dying days. And we love our parents, and we want to be there for them. You know, so it's very, very difficult. And if there's no supports in the community, and the recession is going to make that worse in many communities, we're going to have to quit work. We're going to have to say no to work. Now, while we talked about balance and we managed spreadsheets, this just in, we didn't fool any of our people. And if you look at the data, engagement has plummeted for the last 20 years. 70% of Canadians were committed, loyal, dedicated to their, their organization. We downsized, restructured, told them how important they were, but didn't treat them like they were important. And in 2001, only 40% of Canadians were committed, loyal. And I bet you it's even less now. Job stress has gone up. Job satisfaction has gone way down. Why? Now, all of you are city managers, okay? How many of you in this room do all your own typing? Put your hand up. How many of you answer your own phone? Put your hand up. How many of you do all your own email? Put your hand up. How many of you do your own photocopying? Put your hand up. How many of you sometimes stay late and clean up the office space because it's filthy and you've had to get rid of, yeah, exactly. A good half of you. Why are people less happy? I'm educated, trained, I can commit, I want to make a difference, but I'm spending my time answering the phone and cleaning up the office. Is this a good use of your skilled, trained managers and professionals? No. To save money, you're actually losing money.